What's going on, everybody? It is your boy, Chris Mann. I am here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is the last day of September, September 30th, 2025. My name is Chris Drummond. I am a freelance sports reporter based out of upstate New York here and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I bring individuals on to talk about their why and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a very special guest that's coming on with me today. She's a CBS News anchor slash reporter based out of Charlottesville, Virginia. Her name is Cassidie Stevens, and we're going to talk to her about her why of getting into journalism, but we're also going to ask Cassidie some get to know you questions. So without any further ado, I introduce to y'all Cassidie. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Chris. Thank you so much for having me on. Very excited to be here tonight.
I'm very excited to have you on too. You are absolutely talented. I don't think anybody else will say anything different. Family, friends, or even strangers that see you on the TV, they would all say the same thing. Absolutely talented, absolutely passionate, absolutely beautiful. All three of those combined, no
Thank
question.
you.
We, so we appreciate you for being in the industry and being great representation of what a reporter and anchor should be. So thank you so much. Um, I want to ask you this first question though, because the same question that I have for all of my guests here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast, and it's really simple. What is your why? Why do you do what you do? Do you have any role models or any inspirations maybe growing up? But ultimately, what is your why, Cassidie, for being in the journalism industry?
My why for being in the journalism industry is really, it just boils down to fair reporting and factual information. Going to college when I did, it was in 2020. That was the middle of my college career. I already knew I wanted to be a journalist, but I just kind of, was peeking around and seeing what kind of majors I wanted to do. And then at that time, there was a lot of buzz about fake news
Yeah,
and media is biased, and no one really knew any of the information with COVID or different election results, and everything just seemed so unclear. And in
right,
my classes, we really delved into why it's so important to tell stories and to relay extremely important information in a way that everyone can understand, but it also takes a different skill set to do so in a way that they're interested, they're getting the needed information, but they're also at the same time, for lack of a better word, entertained,
right,
because if they're
right,
bored, they're going to turn off the TV,
right.
they're going to turn off the radio, so you have to deliver it in a way that's engaging too, which is a skill set that I'm still working on, but I'm trying my best at.
Oh well, I think you're doing pretty well. I mean, one of the
Thank
things
you.
that you are, no question, and one of the things that you do well is you diversify your stories.
Hmm.
Meaning that you are going out into the field, you are anchoring behind the desk, but you're also talking about different kind of genre stories, whether it's animals, whether it's food, whether it's life situations, and that's the one thing that in news the one thing that we love. News, I do sports, but we never know what we're coming into each day. Each
Hmm.
day is a different day. We're talking to somebody different. We're doing a different story, and that's one of the main things that I love about journalism, Cassidy, is that the unknown. You just never know what you're going to walk into and what stories is going to populate and generate. And I think that's a very fun thing, and that's something that you do very well. Um, I have rarely met a person that has went to a high school called Celebration.
Yes.
Never in my life. Well, I shouldn't say never, but it's probably a couple times where I've met someone that's went to a high school called Celebration, and they've actually had like a TV. You actually was doing TV there at that high school. Talk to me about going to that particular high school and doing TV there, but also talk to me about the decision of going to the University of Maryland because you're a Terrapin alum,
Yes, I am. So first, I went to Celebration High School, and there we had something called TV 25.
right?
So it was the morning announcements, and it was like a little mock television studio with real cameras, a teleprompter. We learned editing software like Final Cut and Premiere Pro. So
Right.
real softwares that people in the industry use,
Hmm.
and we learned how to anchor, report, direct, produce a show, and it would play every day on our the big fat TVs in the corner of all the classrooms,
Mm-hmm.
every day at I think it was 10 a.m., the
Mm.
announcements would play. So I was in that class for all 4 years of high school. You can choose to be in it. So I learned how to be a director, how to be an anchor, how to report, how to write different scripts. So that's really what led me to pursue it as a career. Was I got a taste of it in high school, and I was like, "Oh, I can this is a great creative outlet," because I was also really into art. But there wasn't
Mm.
like for art you can go into like animation or graphic design, and I didn't really like doing that. I liked painting and things like that. So I thought this is a great creative outlet that I can turn into a career. So
Absolutely.
then I went to the University of Maryland, and my soul, like, I toured so many schools. I applied to a whole bunch of different schools, and I got in to a lot of schools.
What were
And
some of them schools?
hmm?
What were some of them schools that you applied to?
Oh, I applied to Quinnipiac,
Mm.
Monmouth,
Mm.
Penn State,
Yeah.
FSU,
Ooh,
UF,
okay.
um, Tampa.
Wow. Now, what sold you on the University of Maryland?
Yeah, so I did get into all of those schools, so I really had to narrow it down.
Yeah.
So when I toured Maryland at first, I was like, oh, this is really big. Like, this is very big and intimidating. I'm not sure if I'm going to do well at a ginormous school where
Right.
I'm a number and not a name.
Right.
Because I went to a small elementary school. My high school was in a tiny town.
Mm-hmm.
So this was new for me. But then I was actually in the San Francisco airport, and I had to make a decision the next day, and I was between two schools, Monmouth University in New Jersey, and then Maryland.
Right.
And I was going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth because we had a 12-hour layover.
Wow.
So, because we got to the airport at the wrong time. Um, so I'm sitting in there, and but by the time we stepped into the airport and stepped into the lounge we were staying in, and then when we could leave to go to the plane, I was just mulling it over. And I realized, I want a full college experience. I want a big state school. I want a name everyone knows. I want to have like a classic, all the buildings are brick, the grass is green, like a
Yeah.
movie campus. So I was like, I'm going to go to Maryland because I don't want to have any regrets about going to a small school. And I know so many people that went to small schools and it was great, but I would never change my decision looking back at it now to go to Maryland because I absolutely loved it and it was the best decision for me. And even the journalism school there, one of my main concerns going to a big school was I'm a number and not a name. In the
Right.
grand scheme of things, yes, there are 40,000 kids there. But the journalism school, I didn't know this going to Maryland, is one of the best in the country.
Yes.
They have a television station there, a radio station there. They're right next to DC. And also, the classes are very small and concentrated. So I actually got to know my professors. They got to know me. Some of the professors taught the freshman classes and the senior classes. So some of my classes I went into as I got older to complete
Yep.
my journalism degree, I already had them before,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all retired. Some of them they're Pulitzer Prize winners. They were on TV for how many years? They were in newspapers for so many years. So these are all people who have awards and so many accolades, and they know what they're talking about.
Right.
So Maryland was the best decision for me.
I love that you just said that. I really do. And that definitely makes me smile because, when you go to some of these schools, I went to Kennesaw State University, so it's not as huge, obviously, as Maryland, but it's still a big time school where a lot of kids, and they had a great communications program. And my degree was journalism and emerging media. But you do realize as you move up into the school that you choose in your major, that you are meeting people that's worked in the industry that are very seasoned in this industry in a plethora of jobs. And it's cool to have teachers like that because you do see them in the beginning of your journey and you see them at the end. pretty much of
Mhm.
your collegiate journey. So I love that you said that because it was the same thing with Kennesaw State. I've had a teacher that worked for the LA Times, and I had another teacher that worked for the Atlanta Journal Constitution, and I had another
Mhm.
teacher that worked for Atlanta Alive, a network, a big time network down there. So it was one of those things where you do learn a lot of different stuff, and I learned broadcast and print, and I just fell in love with it. And I'm sure it's felt the same way for you when you was at the University of Maryland as well, for sure. I have to say this before I get to this next question. I've been to the Baltimore D.C. area. I'm gonna assume that's where you grew up. Uh,
No,
no, really? Okay,
I grew up.
where did you grow up?
I grew up in New Jersey.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, got you. Now what? Now I've been to Secaucus. I've been to Newark. Obviously, Newark's a big time place for at least, you fly EWR. That's the
Mhm.
airport of New York, Newark. And I've also been to Piscataway, which is where Rutgers
Yeah.
University is. Where did you come from?
So I'm central New Jersey. I'm by the shore. So I'm kind of
Oh.
near the Asbury Park area is where I'm
Mm, I knew exactly what you're talking about.
from.
I've been to the University of Maryland basketball game. My little brother actually did a co-op out there in Baltimore. I didn't realize how close Baltimore and Washington D.C. was until I
Yeah.
first went out there. They're very close to each other, and I went on a double-decker bus tour. I don't know if you ever did that, but
I've seen those
um,
driving around, yeah.
so you've seen them driving around. So I went on a double decker bus tour. It was me, my brother, and my dad and my stepmom. We all took a tour of DC. It was great, great time. I love Baltimore. Obviously, they're known for their crab cakes. Are you a crab cake person?
Yes, I love crab cakes. They're great.
Okay, okay, all right, I got you. That's what's up. I had to throw that question up out there. So definitely a lot of affinity for Baltimore and Washington D.C. for sure. Now, Cassidy, I'm going to ask you some favorite questions. And I want you to give me the 411 off the rip, Cassidy, based upon these questions. Okay, so here we go. Favorite meal you like to cook?
Favorite meal I like to cook is probably spicy rigatoni vodka pasta.
Ooh, okay now. All right. I mean, the next time I pull up in Charlottesville, I might have to pay you a visit. I might have to say hello. I think, to be honest with you, I don't think anybody has ever said that in the 350 plus episodes I've done. I don't think anybody has said that particular dish, to
It's
be
so
honest with
good.
you.
It's so
That
good.
is good. That is good. Wow, that's a new one. Well, I like tacos. I can make
Yeah.
tacos really well.
Tacos are
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer when it comes to cooking, but I need to make stuff that's edible because obviously I'm a bachelor, and if I don't cook, I don't eat. So I definitely
Yeah.
know how to make some tacos for sure. Got you. Okay. Favorite concert you've ever attended?
Pitbull. Um,
Mm.
Pitbull was now I was always a One Direction girl growing up. I saw them 3 times and they were amazing. But
Mm-hmm.
Pitbull was easily the best concert I've ever been to. I saw him at the Hard Rock in Atlantic City.
Mm.
And I didn't know this. It was on March 5th, which is 305. So it was 305 day.
Right.
He put on an amazing show. He's such a great performer. Sometimes in concerts, in the middle, you kind of want to sit down. You're like, take a breather. You were energized on your feet the entire time. It
I
was a
love that.
great show. He's a great performer. 10 out of 10. I want to see him again.
No question about that. I also went to a Pitbull concert. I think it was a Pitbull concert with him and Kesha, and them two
Oh,
have a
wow.
song together, obviously with Timber being their song together. But
Mhm.
Pitbull, my favorite Pitbull song, if I could pick one, because I love so many, is International Love with him and Chris Brown. No
Yeah.
question about it. Every time that song comes on, you got to get the moving. There's no question
Yeah.
about that. But I would say my favorite concert is The Weeknd. I'm a huge
Okay.
R&B person, so I love The
Yeah.
Weeknd, and he was definitely my favorite concert because, man, his voice is just so angelic. And not too many men can sound like that for sure. There's no question. So he's definitely one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah.
I wanna ask you favorite place you've ever traveled to.
I'm probably gonna. Okay, this is just because it has such a special place in my heart and from my childhood.
Okay.
And it has to be Disney World.
Wow,
Disney
Orlando,
World.
Florida,
I
Disney
have
World.
so many memories from there growing up. It was such a huge part of my foundation as a child.
Hmm.
And my family, they all love it. So I have no bad memories associated with that place. It only has ever brought me happiness.
Totally understand
Yeah.
that. And I will share a fun fact with you before I get to the next favorite. I have never been to Disney World. I've only been to Disneyland. And that's because I
Hmm.
grew up in California. So I grew up in
Yeah.
San Diego. So Anaheim was literally about an hour and 15 minutes away. But I've
Hmm.
never been to Disney World. I do want to check it off the bucket list just to say I've went there.
Yeah, you got to
Um,
go at least once.
yeah, Space Mountain, I'm sure is
Mhm.
incredible at Disney
It
World.
is.
Okay, I like that. That's pretty awesome. I'm a sports person, Cassidy, so I'm going to ask you a two-part sports question, okay? Favorite sport you like to watch on TV? Favorite sport you like to attend in person? They could be the same sport.
Okay, they're gonna have to be the same sport, football, because it's the only one I kind of understand. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Um, Soccer. My boyfriend's a big soccer fan. He loves watching his team, Manchester United, play. But half the time when the game's on, I'm like, "What does that mean? What just happened there?" But like
Mm.
football, I very clearly understand it. I
Okay.
grew up with it, so it's like that. I know. That's the only one I really understand and pay attention to.
Well, now, Cassidy, you have a friend in sports that does sports, you know what I mean? And I do sports for a living. I can help you with the other sports. Since you got football down, we don't need to touch football, but maybe basketball. You're there in Virginia. Basketball is big time in Virginia, especially college basketball. They
Mhm.
love Virginia football, just had a big time upset with Florida State
I was at
University.
that game
So there
when
you
they
go.
rushed the field. Yep.
So I can teach you a thing or two
Yeah.
if you want to know some pointers and score some brownie points with your guy for some other sports. I can help you out. That's for sure, no question. My favorite sport is definitely basketball, but I'm a huge
Mhm.
football fan as well. I'm going to ask you, what is your favorite football team?
It goes back. I'm probably gonna have to say the New York Giants because I grew up in New Jersey, but I
Mm,
will root for the Commanders. I will root for
sure.
the Patriots. I'll root for the Eagles. Never the Cowboys. Never the Cowboys.
Is there a reason why not the Cowboys?
Just I know so many people who are Cowboys fans who aren't from Texas, and it's
Sure.
like, why?
Right.
Like, what's
Right.
like? It's kind of bandwagony. They're like, oh,
Right.
Dak Prescott, and I'm like, what
You're
else?
like you're like, what's your allegiance to the Cowboys if you're not
Yes.
from there? Like, what is going on? Like, I don't
Mhm.
understand that. I totally am with you. Now, obviously, I do hate the New York Giants a little bit because they beat my team this past week, which is the Chargers. Obviously, me being from
Okay,
San
yeah.
Diego,
Mhm.
I'm always going to be a Chargers fan. I grew up watching LT, which is my favorite player, LaDainian Tomlinson. For those of you that don't know, not Lawrence Taylor, not the Giant, but so it's okay, but that's all right. We just wanted them to have a win so their coach wouldn't get fired after week 4. So we was very generous, the Chargers. That's what we wanted to be. And we're generous people. Um, Last set of favorites. I'm a huge foodie. I've never been to the city of Charlottesville. I would love to know when you do go out into Charlottesville, what is your favorite place to eat at?
There's a really great variety, and if you're in the mood for whatever food, like they have it, and they have great picks for everything. But
Mm,
recently, a restaurant here that I've been obsessed with, that I've gone to twice in the past 2 weeks, is
mm,
Black Cow Chop House. It's it's just
mm,
like your classic steakhouse, but like I'm a big steak girl. I love like the
mm.
sides, the mashed potatoes, the lobster mac and cheese, the fried Brussels sprouts that you see at other steakhouses.
Ooh,
For
keep
some
talking.
reason, for some reason at Black Cow, it's different. It's just that much better.
Okay. No, listen, like I said, when I do come there, I'm gonna have to hit you up and say hello to you, and I'm gonna have to make sure I definitely get to that excuse me, that Chop House
Yeah,
restaurant because steak
it's
is my thing
delicious.
too. Now you say you're a steak girl. I want to see if you really are a steak girl. How do you like your steak?
Rare to medium rare.
Okay. Yeah, we can still chill. We can still chill. We good. I'm the same way. I like it medium rare, no question. Now I wasn't always like that. Growing up, I was a well done person. No question about it. That's just how my family made it.
Yeah.
So I ate it how they made it. But I stepped out and now I like it medium rare. I just think it's much better. You don't have to lather it in sauce. It's just
Hmm.
it tastes so good. So
Yeah.
good. So okay, I like that. I want to get to your day-to-day operations.
Hmm.
And the reason why I want to get to this is because, as I explained to it or advocated about it before, as journalists, we do different things every single day. No 2 days are ever the same. Every time you go in, there's different stories to pitch, there's different things to do. You've done both different roles, and you have two different processes. When you report, there's a certain process. When you anchor, there's a certain process that you go through, and it's a different process for both of those. I would love to know. Uh, how do you get yourself ready, prepared to do anchoring? How do you get yourself ready to prepare to do reporting?
Hmm.
What kind of times do you normally work? Because as you know, we don't do conventional schedules as journalists. We're not 8 to 4, 9 to 5 business people. We
Hmm.
work long hours. And sometimes we have to go back into a studio or a publication when there's breaking news, right? They'll call us back. So, talk to me about your day to day process of doing those things.
So typically I get into the office around 1:30 p.m. I'm on the
Mm,
night shift.
nice side. Yep.
And I will get in. I'll start reading through my scripts, what's in, because the shows aren't fully produced yet. I'll do hair, makeup, all of
Mm,
that. And then we'll have our 3 o'clock meeting. And that's when our reporters will come in and they will tell us the stories for today, what worked, what didn't work, if it's a package, if it's a VOSOT, who they talk to, times, how we should stack the shows, all of that. And then by that time, I'm pretty good on some of my scripts, so I start planning what I'm going to do for catching up with Cassidie that day. Sometimes I'll have an idea beforehand, sometimes I won't. So
mm-hmm.
I'll look for fun stories, or I'll see like a new thing to try, and I will build that in the rundown where I'll get the video. I'll write a little script because a lot of that segment is just me and my co-anchor and our meteorologists. We're all kind of riffing with each other. It's all ad-libbed. So that's
Sure.
pretty simple. I just need to pick a topic, get some video in, and get the needed materials if there are any.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will anchor, I'll do that in the 4 p.m. and then I'll anchor the 5 and the 6. And after that, I have my break. And during my break, I read over the 10 and the 11 and I anchor those shows. But in my break, when I'm reading through those shows, I'll have to make edits. I'll have to restack some things. I'll talk with my producer. If we need to add something else, sometimes breaking news will drop, and we have to run into the studio and we have to cut into programming.
Right.
That happened recently a few times with the Charlie Kirk incident,
Right.
and then the big DC plane crash.
Yep.
Those were a lot of things where we didn't have a lot of time and we just had to get out there and do it. And one time it happened when I was behind the desk. So I was anchoring the show, I was by
Mm-hmm.
myself.
Wow.
And because a lot of times Alexia and I solo our shows, so Alexia and I will anchor together 6, 10, and 11. And she solos the 4 because her co anchor retired. And I solo the 5 quite frequently because my
Okay.
co anchor is also the news director. So sometimes he will be doing news director things,
Right.
like, because normally
Right.
that's not a position that's put together.
Right.
Um, so yeah, so then I was behind the desk, I was by myself, and the Menendez brothers were granted like a second trial. And we had to put that into the show. So I had to quickly get on, we use EMPS, I had to drag some video over, look on AP, see what kind of script I could write with whatever information we had. I had to drag over the breaking animation, tell my producer, and when we cut back from commercial break, it was breaking news off the top. This is what we know, and
Right.
then we just roll with it. So it's a lot of really just keeping your eyes peeled on social media, reading over your scripts, making sure everything flows, making sure things are put in the prompter the way you need them to, because sometimes I need certain words spelled certain ways, or like numbers 1 through 10, like
Hmm.
ONE, because sometimes, it's hard when you're reading 4 shows a day in the prompter,
Absolutely.
pretty much back to back. And then on days when I'm reporting, I also anchor. So I do both. I'm never just do reporting days,
Okay.
because there are reporters who are just reporters.
Right.
Um,
Yep.
but the anchors here have to, me and Alexia, we go out and we do kind of both jobs sometimes.
Wow.
So when the Pope passed away, I because I'm not a designated reporter, a lot of times stories just kind of come to me and I'm like, "Oh, this would be really good to have." I'm not always having to have a pitch ready, but
Right.
because I know how to report, I always think of things very fast, because I've been doing this for a little while now. And when the Pope passed away, I was on the desk and I was like, all right, I'm going to reach out to the Catholic Church in town to talk to the Monsignor there, to like, let's get going on this conclave stuff, explain the process, and how
Sure.
does what happens at the Vatican affect the church here in Charlottesville? How does
Right.
that trickle down so people at home know that this doesn't just affect Rome, like this, or like Vatican City, like this? How
Right.
does this trickle down to Central Virginia?
Hmm.
And it's also just like, because newsroom emails, you get your inboxes are absolutely flooded.
Yeah. No
I
question.
I look through it. I'm not I do delete them after I've read through them, but I make sure to
Mhm.
read through them, because like there could be a story there, even if it seems just like a mundane, like, oh, this is just some politician's press release. Like, just read it over.
You never
Take a
know.
few take a few seconds, read it over, because I found
Right.
some stories from those emails. We
Email.
got one from the Metro Richmond Zoo,
Yep.
and it was talking about this hippo, and I was like, okay. And then I looked at the email, and it was a baby pygmy hippo that was born all of a sudden when everyone's obsessed with Mudang in Thailand.
Hmm.
So, oh, we have our own Mudang here in Central Virginia, and everyone's talking about this baby hippo right now. We have one here that people can see, like another international thing that can be directly tied locally.
Right.
So just a lot of it's keeping my eye. I'm just always keeping my eyes peeled.
Which is incredible by you, no question. And you deserve your flowers for that. And
Thank you.
all reporters do,
Yeah.
because to be honest with you, it's very difficult sometimes to always try to produce content, because there's some days that damn content's just not there, and you just trying to
Hmm.
manifest something. You
Yep.
trying to get something out of the water, and that's just a shocking truth. But it leads to a great point, because I want to talk to you now about mental health and work life balance, right?
Hmm.
Now we talked about sometimes the scheduling of a journalist is all over the place. You do night side, so you do kind of what a sports schedule is.
Yep.
Sports schedules typically work in the afternoons to late in the evenings, but there's people that work overnight. There's people that work early mornings. And in this industry, news never stops. Sports never stop, right? We work through holidays. Sports work evenings and weekends. News is the same as well as you do.
Hmm.
Talk to me about how you keep your mental health strong, but also still have that work-life balance, Cassidy, because it seems like you're absolutely a terrific person to be around. I certainly wouldn't mind hanging out with you, and I'm sure your friends and family and coworkers feel the same way. But you also seem very passionate about your job, and you need some Cassidy time to yourself, right, as well. So how do you balance all those things and keep your mental health strong?
Yeah, it's tough. It really is. I haven't been home for Thanksgiving since I graduated in college in 2022.
It's, it's about
Um,
3 years.
yeah, so I haven't. So what? I've always been night side since I got out of college. So luckily, I never had an insane schedule switch. I didn't start on mornings getting in at 1 a.m. and
Right,
leaving at 7 a.m. I
right.
was always between 1:30 and 3 to like 9:30 and like 11:30. So I always was in that late afternoon to late night. And even though I do get home to my house every night tomorrow, it helps that I've always done this. So I've kind of had a routine where I
Sure.
get up and I have my mornings. I, walk my dog, I go to the gym, make
Yep.
sure to keep myself moving because I used to at the very beginning just sleep until work. And then I would go to work and I would get home and then I'd go back to sleep.
And that would be your routine.
So it was just my life was work.
Right.
So once I started realizing like I just have to get up a little earlier and like dedicate some time to myself. And I
Sure.
go to the gym, I get my house in order, I have my mornings, and then I can go to work. And at work, sometimes I still am guilty of doing this, working entirely through my break, where it's like I need to take a step
Ah,
back and
yeah.
just have
Yeah.
a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just making sure everything is done for your job and everything is good for your job and you're still putting out a good product, because if you're not, that's going to stress you out. I know it was stressing me out. So as long as I'm putting out a good product and I'm doing the work that needs to be done and I stand behind my work while taking time for myself and not feeling guilty about taking off days, not feeling guilty about taking my vacation time,
Mm-hmm.
not feeling guilty about leaving the building on my half-hour dinner break. It's just, prioritizing your peace. And I've had to learn that, but once I did, and I'm still learning, right? But
Mm-hmm.
it's gotten significantly better. I feel like I have more of a life.
Oh, it typically does.
Mm.
Me being in this industry for about 8 years now, I started in Atlanta, Georgia. At first, I was a yes dude. I want to do everything. I want to cover this game. I want to cover that game. I want to be on the field. I love the field, and I still do love the field. I love the courts. I love the sneakers. I love everything, the smell of it, the grass. I mean, people think I'm crazy, but I'm not. I just love what I do, and I just love being around the players and the coaches. And when you love what you do, I was always told by my dad and my mom, you never call it work.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, to me, I love that. And I totally understand that. But you do also have to have some boundaries. You do have to set boundaries for yourself. And the only way that you kind of learn in this business is to kind of go through it. Because you got to know what your boundaries are. You got to know what your where your limit is. I always say to tell people that you should do as much as you can, and learn as much as you can, but don't overhaul yourself.
Yeah.
And I tell people that all the time because this business would definitely do that. It can get you to the point where you can get burned out. And if you allow it to do that. I wanted to ask this bonus question to you because you've done both. Which one do you prefer more? Do you prefer anchoring more or reporting more?
They each have their pros and cons. I do really love being behind the desk. I love being an anchor. It's a lot of fun. I
Hmm.
love the variety of stories I get to do. I love, just being in the studio under the lights. I love it. But also reporting, I get to go out and I get to talk to people, hear their stories, share their stories. They're just each so different, but I think by a slim margin, for
Hmm.
me, it would be anchoring.
Okay. That's cool. No, that's
Yeah.
cool. Listen, anchoring will be 51%, reporting will be 49%.
Yeah.
We can call it like that. Now, I definitely want to ask this question, and that is, because I know I'm guilty of this as well. There are times when I am off, but it's so I'm off, but I'm not off. And what I mean by that is I go home, I'm on social media, I'm talking about sports, I'm talking about the different players, I'm talking about covering this, I'm talking about covering that, and I'm getting all kinds of questions from my friends about sports. Hey, what do you think about this? And I'm like, man, I just want to talk about something different. Can we talk about music? Can we talk about a different genre? Do you ever have that problem as a journalist where you're going home and you got friends that just want to talk to you about news all the time?
Yes. So
Hmm.
I would go home and And he doesn't do this anymore because I'd have to be like, what do you think I just did all day? I would go home and, they don't think of it, but it's just like, hey, did you hear about this?
Right.
Yes. I'm the one that told everyone about it. Like, I did. Yes, I
Uh,
did.
right,
And most
right,
people probably heard it from me. Like,
right, right.
it's just one of those things where it's like, I am aware that that happened. Yes. Like, but it's just kind of like yeah, I heard it on the news. So that's just something because
Sure.
the issue is but I also have to be more understanding about it because I can't necessarily shut it off because my job is world events.
Right.
And that's what people talk about is world
All the
events and
time.
politics and this thing that just happened and did you see this accident and oh my gosh the weather. That's all at my job. That's
Right.
like all what I do all day. So
Right.
it's just I can't turn it off because what I talk about all day at work and what I get paid to do is what people do when they're at home.
Yep.
They're
It's hard
talking
to
about
escape it.
this. Yeah.
It's very hard to escape it, Cassidy. No question about it. Now, when you are doing a hard news story, and I love to ask all news reporters this, um, how often uh, do you find yourself bringing it home with you? You know, some people like to leave it at the station, and maybe you've gotten better with it because you've been in the industry for a few
Mhm.
years now. But how hard is it to separate yourself from that hard news story and not bring it home with you?
It's gotten easier and unfortunately the reason that it's gotten easier is because my day is full of death and destruction.
Mm,
Yes, I get to do the fun, silly stuff, but also a lot of my job is death. It's
yeah,
shootings, it's war, it's
tragedy.
bombs. And at first, I was scared. I was scared of talking about all these wars happening and thinking we're on the verge of World War III and
Hmm.
I would hold it in my chest and just be terrified. And then I just kind of talk about it every day and I'm like, well, I'm like, it's just got to keep moving and
Hmm.
we're not we're not involved in anything yet, so it hasn't totally broken out.
Right.
But what got me more recently was Charlie Kirk.
Sure.
And the reason was because the video.
Right. Right.
Unfortunately, I hear and I report on shootings and killings every day. But, we are the people who blur the video that gets played on TV, which
Mm,
means, and especially with social media, it was posted all over social media.
no
But
question.
we get, we get raw footage of things before it gets blurred. So I had to see a lot of, really morbid stuff before
Right.
we blur it in house. Like that happened at my last station, and I was like, ooh. And, it's been a while since I saw a pretty graphic video until a few weeks ago when he was assassinated. And I felt this heaviness on my heart. And, because I saw that and it threw me for a loop. And then I got home and I took it home with me. It was on my heart. Like I was still and my boyfriend was like, hey, how are you? Like, how was your day? Like, I know that must have been rough, like, talking about that all day.
Right.
Um, are you good? So it's good to have, like, a support system and family and friends. And it's also, it also helps me that I'm really good friends with my coworkers and we're all in this together.
Yeah.
Because, especially in my market, we're all kind of the same age and figuring out what we want to do, where we want to be. So these are like my coworkers are my close friends. So we all just see it. We all have to talk about the bad stuff and we all can kind of move through it together because we're all in the same boat.
Absolutely. And I love your transparency. I appreciate you being open about that. That was a tough situation. No question
Mhm.
about it. Say what you feel about the man and feel how you feel about the man. That's your own opinion for everybody to have. But nobody deserves to be assassinated. Uh,
Mhm.
and that was just a tragic moment that blew up.
Yeah.
Social media blew up on TV all over, all over. So it's one also the reasons why I kind of dived away from news. And I commend all news reporters and people in that genre because it is very tough to kind of estimate as far as what how much allocation of grace we should give an individual when they're
Mhm.
grieving, right? Because we're trying to get the story. We're trying to not just get the story, but trying to tell their story. We're trying to get out the information as well to 411 and be pillars in our community. But these people have just lost somebody that's tragic. So
Mhm.
when should we stick a microphone in their face? When should we ask a question? Everybody grieves differently. You just never know when is it the right time, and that would be my problem with me personally, Cassie. Is that, oh man, I don't know when I will be able to do this because I wouldn't be able to talk after something so tragic like that, which is why I do sports. But I mean, I love sports to death, and sports do have hard stories. Don't get me wrong, but the hardest probably stories in sports, the majority of the time, is wins and losses. When you are when you're dealing with kids that play games, and they lose and their season's over, and they know the locker room's not going to be the same, they're in tears.
Mhm.
They're crying. That's very tough. No question about it. Because just like your brothers or your sisters or whatever team it is. But you do walk into the gym or a field knowing there's a 50% chance that you could lose.
Yeah.
You do not walk out of your door thinking, man, I'm gonna be assassinated today. Although could it happen? Sure. You don't walk out your door dealing with
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
So, but I commend you. I really do. And it bleeds into this next question, which is about advice. I'm sure you have interns. I'm sure you have people that have came up to you and wanted to talk to you. Maybe younger girls that
Mhm.
are in high school that want to kind of fill the shoes of being a broadcast journalist. What kind of advice do you give those particular individuals?
Never take constructive criticism to heart.
Hmm.
I grew up and I was always so sensitive. And when someone would tell me how to change a script in class or how to change a story, oh, they don't like me. Oh, they hate. And no, that's not the case. They want to see
Right.
you succeed. And also,
Right.
think about it at work. If people are telling you, hey, this should be written like this, or hey, let's deepen the voice, or just take a breath, work from your diaphragm, those kinds of things, if they're coming to you from people at work,
Hmm.
the product also affects them. They wouldn't be telling you to do something better because they don't like you. They're telling you to do this to help you, to put out a better product, so the news is more receptive, or your writing is more clear, or people take you more seriously.
Right.
It's They're doing it to help you and to be selfish, maybe to help themselves, to look better when they're on TV or if it's their station.
Hmm.
But it's not because they're putting you down and
Not
picking.
personal.
It's not personal.
Right.
It's because we have a job to do, and that's to get the story out in the most engaging, informative, factual way possible. And if you're saying in between every sentence, or
Right.
if you're burying the lead, you're going to lose people and it's going to be messy. So just being clear and concise and taking criticism and going with it and being like,
Right.
okay, let's fix this, or how can we change this? And ask questions, ask all the questions. Go up to someone in the newsroom that you want to have their job and ask them what they did.
Mm, I like
Ask them
that.
what they did, what their story is. Ask them for advice. Ask them what they think about this script, what they think about your voice, about your cadence, about your look. What would they say? Just always ask people who are in the position you want to be in how they got there.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, and surprisingly, Cassidy, are afraid to do that, because they're afraid of the rejection part. They're afraid of maybe that person or individual saying no. But to me, you can't even get a no if you never ask.
Hmm.
And my thing is that you definitely want to do exactly what you just said. What better way to learn than to shadow somebody that's doing what you want to do? I mean, that's just in my opinion and your opinion as well. So I love that advice for sure. No question about that. I want to transition now because I want to play my interactive game with you called This or That. It's a
Hmm.
game that I like to play with all of my guests here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. And it's very simple, Cassidy. I'm going to throw some things at you, and you get to choose this or that. So I'm going to ask you, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Out of these two restaurants, which restaurant would you rather eat at? Texas Roadhouse or Longhorn Steakhouse?
Texas Roadhouse.
You like the cinnamon buns, don't you? You like the rolls. I know you do. I know it because I like them too. I like them too. They're
Yeah.
pretty good. Okay, we starting off on a very good foot, girl. So here we go. Let's see if we can continue it. When it comes to chicken wings, which flavor would you rather put on the chicken wing? Barbecue or lemon pepper?
Lemon pepper.
Do you like your wings wet or dry?
I'm gonna have to say wet.
Okay, you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, all
It
right. I had
depends
to
on
go.
the. It depends on like the flavor of them.
Okay, listen, I had to ask because there was a little bit of hesitancy on that answer, but I
Hmm.
love it. Okay, wet, and you said lemon pepper. Last one. Do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
Bone in.
So you like to get messy with it.
Yeah, I like the flats. Those are my
Mm.
favorite.
Okay, now, all right. We off to a damn good start, Cassie. We're gonna get this rolling because I love me some flats too. I get a wet wipe and go to work when it comes to the wings. So I love me that. All right, here we go. These next four questions have to do with music concerts you rather attend. Okay, so here we go. Which music concert would you rather go see? Would you rather go see Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
Kendrick Lamar.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay, all right, K Dot. I'm with you on that. Which music concert would you rather go see? Beyonce or Rihanna?
Ooh. Honestly,
Yes,
probably
please.
Rihanna.
Ooh, okay. That
Yeah.
is a hot take right there. But listen, that's a very difficult question to answer. I'm sure you
Yeah.
love both of them. I'm
Yes.
sure you do. Okay, I like that though. Which music concert would you rather go see? Would you rather go see Morgan Wallen or Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift. I'm not a huge country person.
Okay, okay. So are you a Swiftie?
I'm not a fan, but I'm not a Swiftie.
Okay,
So
got
I'm
you.
not
All
like
right.
obsessed with her, but I don't dislike her.
Okay, that makes sense. I totally understand that. Now, maybe for this last music one, I'll throw this at you. Which music concert would you rather go see? These are two of my favorite bands.
Hmm.
Panic at the Disco or AJR.
I think Panic at the Disco because I only know one song by AJR.
Oh, I got you. I got you. Now, tell me a couple of the if there was music playing, if there was a or not this, if you wanted to play music and you were jamming out to a song and you knew all the words to the song, give me a couple different bands that you know all the words to their songs, or a couple different artists that you know all the words to their songs that you would just jam out to.
Yeah, One Direction, Pitbull. Uh, I know a lot of songs from ATEEZ, the K-pop group.
Oh,
Bon
AT,
Jovi.
Bon Jovi. Okay,
Yeah, my music taste is pretty diverse. It's just kind of, I know a lot of
yeah.
people are like anything but country, but I feel like I'm pretty much really anything but country.
I love that. Yeah, but listen, I'm a huge Bon Jovi fan. "It's My Life" is one of my favorite songs. "Want It" is another favorite song of mine of his. No question about that. I also wanted to touch up on something. You said something earlier, which was great. You said "Vosat." For those of you that will watch this particular conversation, a "Vosat" is called voice over sound on tape. So when
Mm-hmm.
you are doing a "Vosat," you're basically speaking over tape that is running. So that's what Cassidie was talking about when she said VOSAT. That is the acronym VOSAT, but it's voice over sound on tape. So that's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that, so I just want people to understand what
Yeah.
that is for sure. Um, do you like desserts?
I love desserts. Always in the
Okay.
mood for a sweet treat.
Oh, I love that. I'm gonna name four categories of dessert. You get to choose one of these categories you'll never eat again. Okay.
Okay.
So here we go. The first category is grouped together. So it's pies slash cake. Okay, they're grouped together. The second category is candy. The third category is cookies. The last category is ice cream. Which one are you getting rid of?
Candy.
I would say you on point like a period. That's what I would
Yeah.
say.
Candy.
Absolutely. I would
And
too.
I
I
love
would too.
candy, but if I had to get rid of, I'm getting rid of candy.
Oh, you and me both. It's
Yeah.
not even a damn hesitation on that
Yeah.
one. There's no question about that. Now, what's
Yep.
your favorite ice cream?
Okay, it's really what kind of mood I'm in. I go back and forth on my flavors. But
Mm.
ones that are up there for me is like when they have like a turtle flavor, so like pecans,
Mm.
caramel, that is a really good one. I love mint chocolate chip, and I love like good old fashioned chocolate, vanilla, strawberry moment. My favorite Ben and Jerry's though is specific. It's New York Super Fudge Chunk.
I've never had that particular one, but I did have my favorite Ben and Jerry's is milk and cookies. If you
That
ever
one's really
think
good. Yeah.
that's one really good. So yes, milk and cookies for that one. So you're a Neapolitan person. We can just get
Yeah.
you all three flavors and you will roll
All
with
of
it. I love that. I love that. Now, I'm gonna ask you about potato chips. Do you like
them.
potato chips?
Yes.
Okay, so same format. I'm gonna name four different brands. You have to choose one of these brands you'll never eat again. So here we go. First brand is gonna be Lay's.
Hmm.
The next brand is gonna be Ruffles. The next brand is gonna be Doritos. The last brand is gonna be Pringles. Which one are you getting rid of?
Ruffles.
Oh hell no! You said that without any hesitation. What is going on? Oh,
Because Lay's has wavy.
okay,
So you
okay.
can get it under the Lay's umbrella.
Well, listen, I mean, Cassidy, you just proved that you're not perfect. There's a lot of things that's lovely about you, but you just proven you're not perfect. It's okay. It's totally awesome.
I
My
love
favorite chip.
Pringles.
Listen, I love Pringles too, and you're great by that. By the way, my favorite chip is sour cream and cheddar Ruffles. That's my
Okay.
favorite chip.
Yeah.
Now you don't have to name the other three, but if I ask you what is your favorite chip, what would you say?
You didn't name my favorite chip brand.
Which is
It's very specific. It's in a white bag. It's hers salt and vinegar chips with the red and it's white. Those are the best chips.
what the hell? Not only do you not get rid of Ruffles, but then you name the second worst chip ever made.
No, it's
Salt,
so good. What's the first
salt,
worst chip?
Funyuns. Whoever made
Oh yeah,
Funyuns,
onions are gross.
yeah, they're nasty. And the third worst is kettle chips. Whoever the hell made kettle chips need to just be slapped
Do
with
you not like
both.
how crunchy they are?
Well, I didn't like the taste.
Okay.
When I was in Minnesota before I moved here, I got a cheeseburger and the restaurant served kettle chips instead of fries. So I tried the barbecue kettle
Yeah. Hmm.
chips with no burgers. You serve French fries, but salt and vinegar, I could probably eat three at the most, and I tap out.
They're so
After
good.
that, well, you know what? I'm gonna be very generous, Cassidy, and I'm gonna leave them on the shelf for you. Okay.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
I'm gonna be very generous.
Yeah.
That's cool. Now listen, I want to ask you these last two. We're gonna go to sports for this or that. Which sport would you rather play? Badminton or bowling?
Badminton.
Oh, that tells me a lot. Are you not a good bowler?
I haven't gone bowling in a while, but I've played badminton a few times and I'm not terrible at it.
Okay, I like that. You do have like an athletic kind of build, so I'm thinking that maybe you run, maybe that you've played some sports before. So I'm thinking that, to be
Mhm.
honest with you. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I
Yeah.
like that. Now, which sport would you rather watch on TV? Would you rather watch basketball or hockey?
Ooh, probably hockey. And
Okay, okay,
yeah, because my brother was a hockey player. So, and it's back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And it's just like, because it's ice skating, like it's crazy. So,
right. Well, basketball's back and forth too.
yeah, but they're not doing it on ice.
That would be damn hard to play to play that on ice for
Yeah.
sure. That would take a miracle to do that. I
Hmm.
love that. But you're right. Yeah, see, well, listen, hockey is a great sport to watch. I can definitely teach you about some hockey if you have some questions, have some pointers. I can definitely hook you up with that. That's for sure.
Nice.
No doubt. You did very well in my game for this and that, except the salt and vinegar take. That's just horrible. But other than that,
All
uh
right.
you you did very well. You did great. You did great. It was awesome. Now I want to ask this next question. This next question is called bucket list. And the reason why it's called bucket list is I want you to give me a top four of stories or events that you would like to do in your journalism career that you haven't done yet.
That I haven't done yet. Okay, I'd love
Yeah.
to go to the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Oh wow. Okay.
That would be
I like that.
amazing. I I would love to cover. I mean, I've done a lot of cool stuff, but like I'd love to cover an international story.
Okay.
I'd love to go overseas when like if the president's visiting somewhere overseas or something's happening. I'd love to go overseas somewhere, or like for example, if in years and years and years, if there's another conclave, I'd love to go to Vatican City and cover a conclave.
Okay.
Um, I what go international. I've done a lot of election coverage.
Hmm.
I could probably dabble into some more sports.
Yeah. Come
I
on
could like
now. Come on.
cover a professional sports game would be cool.
I think so. I think you'll be
Yeah.
amazing at it. Come on to the dark side. We would love to have you over in our genre. There's no question. I would love that. Now, would you like to do anything red carpet wise? Because I could totally see you on a red carpet doing something like that.
Oh yeah, Met Gala.
Everybody, when I throw that out there, there is not a guest that I haven't had on here that haven't said they don't want to do the Met Gala.
The Met
Everybody has
Gala.
said the Met
Because
Gala. Wow.
everyone is there.
Uh,
Everyone.
in the most exotic outfits that you can possibly ever see in your life. No question
Yes.
about that. That
Mhm.
would be pretty cool though to do the Met Gala. That'd
Yeah.
be pretty awesome. Okay. And the reason why I asked that question again, Cassidy, is to speak it into existence. It's a bucket list kind of thing, but I feel like if you have something that you're striving for, you'll never get complacent. Goals are always reachable and attainable, and you can always set new goals. So I
Mhm.
totally could see you at those four at some point. Obviously, doing the sports thing. Um, I'm going to be probably doing the ACC tournament, which is going to be in Georgia. And obviously, you know about the ACC because you're there in Virginia. That's where Virginia is. So
Mhm.
if you have any kind of people there that's going to be doing the ACC tournament, or if you just happen to go along and they put you on that yourself, that would be amazing, and
Mhm.
you can cross that off your sporting list, and
Yeah.
see Georgia. That'd be amazing. So that'd be awesome. Um, I want to ask this next question, and that is advice. I asked advice what you would give, and you talked about asking questions. You talked about don't take things personally and be open to criticism. But what is some advice that someone has gave you that you hold on dearly to?
Yeah. A piece of advice that someone gave me that I use all the time is don't let them see you sweat.
Hmm.
And, this is a very high stress job. If you cannot handle stress or be put under stress, you can't do it. And when I'm behind, like the people at home who watch us are trusting us.
Yeah, no question.
We are the ones that are giving them this information about this storm that's coming, about these new tariffs, about this new law, about
Yeah.
this murderer on the loose, something like that, right? So even if you are trying to wrap your head around what's happening and make sure the animation is in and make sure everything's in the prompter, when that camera goes on and your mic is up, take a breath. It's okay if you look down, if you're like, hi, we're trying to get you all the information we have right now. This is what we have from the Charlottesville Police Department. This is what the latest numbers are showing. You don't have to completely just stare at the camera like everything's preloaded in already, like in a perfect world it would be. But
Mhm.
just take a breath. Don't stumble. Like, don't get yourself worked up. Just remain calm and deliver the information that you have to deliver.
Mm. Once again, great advice. Whoever gave you that, shout out to them. No question about that, and great advice by you as well. Allocating that to others. Definitely appreciate that. Um, what is a dream market for you? Not to say that Charlottesville is not a great market, because it certainly is for news. But if they told you, say, Cassidy, what is your dream market job that you would like to do? I know for me, just to go off the top, I would love to be NBA reporter. I love
Yeah.
NBA basketball, so I don't care what team it is. I would just love to be an NBA reporter, traveling with the team, being able to cover the games and get the stories inside
Yeah.
those NBA different places. What is yours?
I would love. I worked in DC at Fox 5, and that was a lot of fun. I would, or like, I honestly, I'm not even sure. I know I would want to go to a bigger area, a bigger city. I could see myself going back to DC. I could see myself going to Orlando. I could see going to Philadelphia. Like,
Mm,
just kind of,
mm.
know I definitely want to be in a big city and I want to be on the East Coast.
I could totally see that
Mhm.
for you. No question about that. I think you would thrive in all those places. I mean, obviously, Philadelphia, it's a big city, big time market. DC, I mean, doesn't get much bigger for news if you're there in DC for
Yeah.
sure. I know there's a woman named Aisha Khan that I know that
She was
works
at
for
my
Fox 5.
station. Yeah.
So I'm good friends with her. I know her well, and she's somebody who I've talked to periodically as well. So that's someone who's been on the podcast as well. So I definitely know Fox 5. They definitely do. They're the best of the best when
Yeah.
it comes to news and stuff like that for sure. Um, I want to do rapid fire with you before I let you get on up out of here.
Okay.
Okay. And what that is basically is I'm gonna throw some things at you. And the first thing, okay, the first thing, Cassidy, that comes to your mind, I want you to spit it out with glee. Okay, so here we go. Favorite Netflix TV show or just TV series on television?
Oh, favorite SpongeBob. SpongeBob SquarePants. It
You know, okay.
it's so good.
Okay.
It's good.
Oh,
There's jokes in there when you were a kid that you don't understand until you get older. And it's timeless. It's timeless. The old episodes specifically. The new ones they're getting a little but just it's a show that I've watched since I was a kid and it's funny. It's funny. Like it's funny.
listen, you you
That's
you
all it is.
you
It's just
already you
silly.
already threw me for a damn loop with SpongeBob. I did not expect that answer to come out your mouth. I really
It's a
didn't. But
funny show.
but
It's you can
it's
turn your
no
brain off.
wow. There's no shade to that because I love me some SpongeBob. I
Hmm.
was always a SpongeBob person, but I also love Boondocks too. I don't know if you know about the Boondocks.
I've never
Okay.
watched it, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, that Boondock show was something different. I always loved that. And Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty, I definitely like
Hmm.
that one too. Okay, here we go. Uh Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Okay. Juice or soda?
Soda.
Okay. Chicken or ribs?
Chicken.
All right. Favorite card game?
Uno.
I'm a beast when I hit you with that draw four, girl. I promise you. Favorite board game?
Monopoly.
I'm a beast when I get boardwalk in Park Place too. With it. Okay. So we both share the same card and board game. I love those too. If you had a choice to choose three people plus you, so a total of four, to bring with you on vacation, who would those three people be and where would you go? Now, before you choose, you can choose family, friends, or celebrities.
I would probably pick my mom, my boyfriend, and my brother, and we would go to Italy
Oh,
and just do a
okay.
little tour of Italy kind of situation because my family's
I,
Italian, and that would be a fun thing to do.
I can see that. No, I love that. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I love that. If you had a choice to choose between three songs or three artists that you can listen to on repeat and never get tired of, who would those three artists or three songs be?
Artists, it would be again Pitbull,
Mm-hmm.
One Direction,
Okay.
and oh gosh, there's so many good ones. I'm probably gonna have to say Lady Gaga.
Ooh, that is three incredible artists. No question about it. You never get tired of them. Drag Me Down was one of my, I think that's
Yep.
what the song was called for One Direction. It's one of my
Yeah.
favorite songs from them. Do you still listen to Harry Styles?
Yes.
Okay. How did you feel about when Zahn passed away?
I when Zayn left and when Liam
Yeah.
passed away,
Liam passed away. Sorry about that. Yes.
yeah, I was behind the desk when I found out.
Wow.
And it was one of the breaking things that I had to report. All of a sudden, I see on my phone a bunch of people are texting me, like, Cassidy, I'm so sorry, are you okay? Like, I just saw about Liam. And I'm like, what do you mean about Liam? But when they said Liam, I was like, oh no.
Right.
So
Right.
I had to deliver the breaking news that unfortunately he passed away. And it was just weird. It was kind of the first like celebrity, like, crush I had from middle school and stuff like passed away. And it like was so sudden and he was young. So a lot of emotions. I was upset, but again, don't let them see you sweat. I had to just deliver it and move on.
Okay. Wow. All right. I feel that, girl. I feel that. Favorite alcoholic drink?
Okay, I love a good Sauvignon Blanc wine.
Oh, wow.
But I'm
That's
also
that's
I love High Noon, like the little
okay.
seltzers.
That is two ends of the damn spectrum.
Yeah.
That is no question. That's like A to Z, what you just talked about. But I do like how you say that again? So what? Sovereign what?
Sauvignon Blanc, it's a white wine.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely had white wine before. I must have butchered the name because I damn sure didn't say that for sure. But I definitely had the white wine before. I like that.
hmm
Um, Favorite sandwich?
Uh, what's it called? It's Reuben.
Okay, Ruben, I like that. Favorite color?
Pink.
Okay. If they came to you, Cassidy, and they said, "Look, you're doing an amazing job as an anchor and reporter, which you most certainly are. There's no question about that. But we want you to change your genre. We no longer want you to do news. Out of these three new genres that I'm going to mention, which one would you choose to do? Travel, entertainment, or sports?"
Probably entertainment. I would be the most well versed in that.
Okay, I like
Movies,
that. Now,
music, that kind of
I,
stuff. Yeah.
I love that. I absolutely do. Now, this next one. If they came to you and they said, "Hey, once again, you've been great at anchoring and reporting, Cassidy, but we want you to choose a new occupation for the day. If you're not an anchor or reporter, which occupation would you choose to do for a day and why?"
I'd be a baker. I love
Okay,
baking.
I'm gonna keep that in mind.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
love baking. I
Okay.
It's my little, it's like a hobby. I sell things sometimes. I make cakes for people. So it's
Wow.
a lot of fun. So yeah, I would be a professional baker for a day if I could.
I love that. Now I'm intrigued, but since you said that, because now I'm intrigued. I want to know journalistically, which occupation would you choose if it wasn't anchor or reporter? Which one would you choose in the studio to do?
In the studio to do?
Yeah.
I could try weather.
Mm.
I could try it.
Well, no. I meant like, would you be a producer? Would you be a director?
Oh,
Would you be a
um,
assignment editor? Which one would you do?
I could be a producer.
Producer?
Yeah, I could
Okay.
stack the show.
Okay. Okay. I can totally see you in that role, by the way. But is that something that you have ever been intrigued by doing, producing, or do you always want
Um,
to be in front of the camera?
I always wanted to be in front of the camera. I've had to produce here. We've had to produce our own shows sometimes because producers are
Hmm.
off and we don't have the manpower. So I've had to produce a show and then anchor it.
Wow. Look at you. Well versed, obviously. And this has been a really, really dope conversation. Like, I really do appreciate this of just learning about your why, learning about your work ethic, learning about the different stories that you've done. The fact that you are from Jersey, but went to Maryland, University of Maryland, graduated, learned all that stuff at Celebration High School, took it with you, and look at you now doing big things at CBS 19 in Charlottesville, Virginia. Obviously, I am a new fan of yours. Well, not really new because I've been following you for quite some time, but I'm a fan of yours. Keep killing it out there. Keep doing your thing. And my final question to you, Cassidy, is there anything else you would like to say about your job, yourself, or anything at all before we conclude?
Just, for anyone out there who's looking to get into this industry, there's going to be some really tough days, but as long as you have a support system, you'll be able to do it. You just have to put your piece first. Put your piece first. No story is worth your mental health
Mm,
or your
I love
physical
that.
health because sometimes you're going to get put out to stories where you might be in a dangerous situation. No story is worth your physical or mental health. Protect your peace.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And know your worth, everybody.
Hmm.
Know your worth. And listen, you may not know that early on when you start. But as you get into this industry, those words of know your worth will ring into your head. And you're really gonna have to know that. And you're gonna have some tough decisions to make when it comes to that. So please, know your worth, and also like you said, talking about just be prepared for this industry. And that's the
Hmm.
main thing that I want people to take away from this podcast and every other podcast. Be prepared for this industry of what it throws at you, the good, bad, and indifferent. Once again, Cassidy, I want to say thank you for coming on to my podcast. I want you to have a wonderful Tuesday evening and the rest of your week. You know, you and I would definitely stay in touch, and you also have a good night.
All right. Thank you. You too.
No problem.